Hi crafty friends, this is Maria over at She's a Creative Girl. I have a flip through today. I made an Alice in Wonderland junk journal for the store where I work. It's called Big Mouth Scrappers. It's in Forney, Texas. They do have an online site if you want to go shop there. But so Cynthia at the store, every time that she gets Alice in Wonderland paper, she's like, Maria. Okay, so this is another one of those. This paper line was called Wonderland. It was by Asuka, and I don't even think we can get any more of this. But anyway, I made several kits of these, and they all sold out. So I'm going to show you what I made. I just love the way she looks. Okay, so I made the closure out of muslin. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is just practice. My bad. Okay, so this is the front cover. I did a little bit of mixed media on the front. And I did some modeling paste, some torn paper, vintage music paper. The collection came with an ephemera pack, and this is part of the ephemera. These are laces that Cynthia had at the store. And here's the spine. This is a piece of vintage lace. I have some, I don't know what you call that. I think I heard somebody say it was like mattress fabric or something. I don't know, but I've got plenty of it. And we have a seam binding closure here. Not closure. It's just a little dangle. And here's the back cover. I just love this. So cute. Okay, let's go on the inside. So here we have a flip. We've got a little pocket. I put some fabric back there. A little, what do you call that? Belly band with some vintage buttons on here. Put some of the cards from the collection in here. And this was all about Alice and steampunk, okay? So Alice is wearing steampunk clothes. I used a steampunk embossing folder to create the little tab at the bottom. And here I did the faux tape technique, the faux vintage tape to tape this little card here. And this is a little flip out this way, okay? So this is just a little tab, a little place for you to journal. And I like to always put the name of the collection somewhere where you can see it on the front cover. So in this particular case, the ephemera pack did have the word Wonderland. So I stuck it up there. I have another Alice book that I think I did. Yeah, I did show it to y'all. And I made a charm out of that one using the title. So this is a little booklet here. It is attached. It's got some fabric in here, coffee dyed paper, flip outs. Super cute. I love this. So I do have maybe one more set of this collection because I have the paper pad and the patterns pad. And I like to make another one of these and make 2 signatures on it. But we'll see when I have time, right? Okay, so this is a vintage piece of paper, and I stenciled over it with some modeling paste. I put a piece of doily here. I did some stitching around the pages. Some more here. I got a pocket here. Got some stitching around there. Got a little journaling tag. And I saw somebody do this. I don't know her name, but it's just a simple piece of coffee dyed paper, and you stitch around the quadrants, or at least 2 of them, and then just fold it up. But I love the little embellishments. There was a lot of embellishments in that little kit, and it made it perfect to be able to decorate this book. This is coffee dyed paper, drew stencils, and today it's going to be like 100 degrees outside, and I will be coffee dyeing some paper outside. So here is, what did I do here? I painted that. Painted that with my finger. I love to finger paint. Here's another tuck spot. I got some tea bags down here. This was also not coffee dye, but I think it was Faber-Castell had a tea set, I guess it was. But this is called Blue Chai, and I was able to get this color on there. It's so cool. Anyway, I did color that with the paint. And I used the pull paper technique for here and here. Some more of my finger painting. I got a piece of ribbon up here. This paper is so cool. I wish I could have duplicated that. There's some stitching with my heirloom stitch cartridge on my machine. This is a printable. I'm not sure where I got this from. This looks like it might be Sand Pool, maybe. I don't know. It's a tuck spot. So, funny thing, this piece of paper actually is upside down because I wanted to get this piece down here, and I didn't realize there was words there, so I covered it up with the little embellishment from the collection. This is watercolor paper. I tried to do some, I don't know, drip down technique with my distress spritz when I first got them, and I just wanted to see what it was going to do, and I just like the way it looked. It's really cool. But I do love to put a lot of like mixed media papers in my books because I like to color. So mine are more kind of like artsy kind of journals. So here we have a tag here to put a little rusted paper clip there and attach one of the little cards from the collection. Little pockets, a double pocket actually. And I have this little tags in here. That in there. I made a snippet here with some vintage music paper. I left the little strings hanging on there. This is just plain ledger paper that I coffee dyed. I put this little piece of, I guess, I don't know, gathered fabric at the bottom just because of the color. And I love that all the layers, you can see through them. This is something that Amity Bloom does a lot of, and I love her stuff. Put a piece of packaging tape for some journaling and to break up that dark kind of black and white space. There's some more stitching. Got some vintage music paper. Another card. I just stapled it with a tiny attacher. Stapled some seam binding to it. Piece of fabric down here. And here's a digital ledger. And this is a page from the original Alice book. It's not the original, but this is just kind of like a printable digital, basically, of that. And I thought really cool here. I did some stamping with the stamp set that I have from Stamperia. I'm not too crazy about stamping, but I did that just to create a background. That page was a little bit too stark. Did a paper ruffle here with some vintage music paper. Card. This was kind of dark back here, so I put some packaging on the back for some journaling. She was, I think she was on one of the pages for cutouts, and I put her there. I did some doodling around the page here using a 01 micron pen. There's that blue chai. I have some of those vintage vinyl, I guess, placemats. And we did this outside last year. Okay, here I have a paper ruffle that I made, and I stuck a little dark blue piece of ruffles back there. I got her here. I think I made her a tuck spot. Yes, I try to make tuck spots out of everything that I put in here. So this is a piece of a vintage page of like utensils and stuff. And I got that from the store. This part of the collection. Another snippet down here. These little cards. Oh, I love these little cards. So here's the middle. That page was so big I had to cut it in half to create a scene here. And I kind of pop this down here for some journaling and a tuck spot here. And poppy dyed paper, a little painting. So here, got a pocket there. I made a little folio. So this is a little waterfall. And for some photos or journaling space. And then here we have like pockets to put some of the journaling cards in. And this is just a leftover piece of something. That way you can write on that as well. So all this gets tied up. So every time I make a book, I try to do some kind of waterfall, whether it be a full waterfall or one of these. I just think it creates a lot more space for some secret journaling. There's that. I'm going to snip it down here. I did some collage with some coffee dye paper and a piece of a ledger page because the back of this card was so dark. And here I made another little snippet with some lace, a tiny bead of fabric, a little piece of paper. And there's the other side of that vintage page. And this is the other side of that digital. We got some more music paper. This is the other side of the pages that I had in the front. So here I put a card. See how dark that is? I mean, I guess you can journal with a white Posca pen or something. And here we have another pocket. Another music page. Not music page. Coffee paper. Another snippet here. Another snippet here. And we've got this tag. Stick it there. And a journaling card here. And I did splash. See what I'm saying? I just love to do something with ink. I splashed it with, I think it was Vintage Photo, fossilized amber, and some blue. I don't remember what blue I used with the Distress Spritz. Because I need to use that, y'all. I keep buying, every time I get something in the store, I just have to have it. And then I want all the colors. And then they sit in my closet and I don't use them. So I'm trying to use them a lot more. And here's another tuck spot. Here's the other side of that digital print. A tuck spot here. There's some stitching. I did a little ruffle. I actually used a ruffler this time on my machine. I've never used that before, but it came out pretty cool. It's a little tight, but it's pretty cool. I didn't have to actually do anything. So, all right, this is a little pocket. Got a little notebook, I guess. And I did this, what was this? I tried to make it look like a blouse, I guess. I kind of forgot to stitch around here, but I drew in the little corset at the bottom, you know, because it's about, you know, Alice in Steampunk, right? It's the corsets. And I'm going to show you what else I made for this particular line. I've got to go find, yeah, it's right over there. I'm going to just go get it after I'll show you. So I made a dress for him, y'all. You'll have to see it. Just have to wait till I finish here. Okay, so here's this. But it'll snip it up here, a little tuck spot. And I did cut this out with my silhouette. I used one of the darker papers in the collection to be able to get this dark print. And here's another pocket. I think this was actually part of the front cover of the collection. I use everything. When I get a paper pack, I use it all up. There's some stitching there. And I have a piece of fabric here that's also part of the front cover. This is something that Amity Bloom does. And that way I can do maybe some embroidery or something on here. That's really cool. And this is the back page. This is actually a pocket page. This is the back cover. And I put a journaling card in there. This is the insert. So this is in there. And then this page here. This is the back. And I love this. It's got a little pink sand in there. Okay, y'all. I'm going to show you the dress form. It may be a little bit too difficult to kind of show this to you without laying it down. But here it is. So when I saw this, I tried to reach out to the lady that made it. I don't know. It's somewhere in Japan. I think it was the lady from Asuka. I'm not even for sure. But she was doing I think it looked like she was doing a workshop. You know, I looked up the website. It was in a different language. I couldn't translate it. And I tried to inquire about it, but didn't get a response. So, anyway, I did my own thing. I just kind of got the idea and I just did my own thing. So I did this little dress. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I just love it. So, let's see what we have here. This is just paper. It's just made out of paper. I got little gears and stuff, little keys. I put this around her waist, little keychains. I got these little charms, little Alice charms. I've got the little bottle on there, and I put some, what do you call that? Alcohol ink in there to make it look like it's been drunk, right? Did cut all these pieces out with my silhouette. I even did the hat on my silhouette. I actually had this file in there for an actual hat that was like, you know, adult size, you know, for you to wear to a party. And I shrunk it down to this size. It was a challenge, but I got it done. And then here's the back of it. Super cute. Anyway, I wanted to show that to you. So that's it. That's all I have for today. I do have some cards I need to make, but my challenge is to try to make them as flat as possible because they're really getting crazy expensive to mail. And so I can't keep making dimensional cards to mail because then, you know, I'll be spending a fortune just trying to mail the stuff out. But I will be working on that, and I'll share those with you next week. But I hope you enjoyed the flip through. As always, please show me some love. Subscribe, like, share, and turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified of my next video. You guys have a great week. Happy crafting.